You hear me talking. I just sort of stream of consciousness. I don't mean to hurt people's feelings. And every once in a while, diarrhea of the mouth comes out. I read that quote, and somehow the way they put it together, I think I said something like, nobody touched David in his prime. Not Robert Plant, not Jagger, anybody. He was the king. And then somehow there was a segue to, Elvis bloated on the ground and, fat and naked, and I don't want to see that. I wasn't talking about David, but that doesn't matter. What matters is I hurt David's feelings, and that's more important than the intent. So I sincerely apologize for that. I didn't mean to hurt his feelings. It reminds me of the guy that gets out of a truck and says, hey, I'm sorry, buddy, I didn't mean to run you over. But what the f***'s the difference? You've been run over. Feelings are human, and anybody can hurt your feelings. I mean, you can be the king of anything, and a kid can come over and say, you stink in front of everybody else, and it could hurt your feelings. So for that, I'm really sorry about it. I never meant to hurt his feelings. But in the way the words came out, I could see where that was the impression. Not my intention.
Seems like the demon got outclassed by the diamond.
We return you now to your regularly scheduled program.
So, more on Dave. This is kind of interesting. So, John 5 recently did an interview, and he revealed more information about the California Sessions album, this lost Roth album that's never going to come out. Dave, just to give you a heads up, if I'm timing things correctly, we might get another Dave song by December, because I think he's spreading them out every 7 months or so.
Well, did he say something like that? He doesn't want to do full albums anymore?
Yeah.
So he seems to be putting one song out every few months.
Right, so that's the thing. But the last one, I think, was maybe in May or something like that. So we might get the next one, like, I don't know, in December or something like that. Who the hell knows? It is so weird the way he's doing this. Who knows? The California Sessions might be a full album by 2029. Who knows? It's so crazy. So he basically said, John 5 did this interview, and he talked about some of the songs. And obviously Giddy Up is out, and Somewhere Over the Rainbow Bar and Grill is out. But there's other songs on there called Alligator Pants, Low Res Sunset, Mandabala. And these are songs that he recorded at Henson Recording Studios in Hollywood, California. And he says, I'm not sure when it's going to come out or if it'll come out, but I hope it does. Now we're getting an if. What he wanted to highlight was this incredible song. His favorite on the album is called Nothing Could Have Stopped Us. There's one I'll tell you about called Nothing Could Have Stopped Us, and it's unbelievable. Being a Van Halen fan and a David Lee Roth fan, it's unbelievable because it's about Dave singing about Van Halen and what it was like. Really something special, and I really hope that comes out. So we have to look out for that song. These other tunes that I mentioned, Alligator Pants, Low Res Sunset, and Mandabala, there's clips of them in the Roth Project, that online comic book narrated by
Dave.
That's
true.
Yeah,
yes.
But not full songs, just like little clips or something like that.
No, well, it's like one of the options was you could listen to just the songs, but they were not the full songs. It was like a minute and a half each of about 5 or 6 songs. So it was very much a tease.
Right, absolutely. So this song, Nothing Could Have Stopped Us. Dave, isn't that a line from Damn Good? I could have sworn that was. Nothing could have stopped us.
I don't think that's a line word for word.
I don't know. It just sounds like a line from Damn Good for some reason. I don't know why, but that title sounds so familiar. I don't know why, but it sounds like it's from another Dave lyric or something, but I'm trying to remember it. But obviously Damn Good was about his days with Van Halen, so I'm wondering if kind of in that vein kind of thing, I'm wondering if this is Dave's swan song, this album. Like, it's his last album, and this guy's not going to tour anymore. I don't know what the hell's going on, so we shall see.
Wait a minute!
Okay, so the reason Nothing Could Have Stopped Us sounds familiar is because we had it on the pod before. This is how old we're getting. But anyway, just to refresh your memory, here's a clip.
so much to me. No doubt in me, I do believe that no one listens to both sides except the neighbors. Fine art of compromise, happy losing half of mine, 'cause she'll lose her half later. First taste of being victim of the very songs I sing. Ended up with say goodbye, and I hope I hear good things, and walk away, walk away. Nothing could have stopped us back then anyway.
Now, back to our show.
The busiest man in the Van Halen camp. My God, Sammy Hagar. This guy does not fucking stop. He's doing more press. Holy shit. Every time I turn around, he's doing stuff. He just came out with a big article in the Washington Post. He talked to this guy, Jeff Edgers, which I believe is the guy who interviewed Wolf. So he talked in the Washington Post about how he's currently playing way more Van Hagar in this set, and he's constantly using the term Van Hagar, almost like he's branding it now. You know, we use it all the time because it's like a fan kind of thing, but he's readily using it. So he says, he's talking about his band, we're going heavy on Van Hagar lately because it really got neglected over the years before Eddie died. My era kind of got pushed aside. Unfortunately, that reunion with all of us together never happened, which would have been wonderful. So we've been concentrating a lot, Mikey and I, on the Van Hagar era. And yeah, we're going heavy on it. And the fans are loving it because they haven't heard that stuff in a long time and no one else can do it. I can't even hardly sing them because I painted myself into a corner. Now, you know how I praised him about not putting When It's Love in the set? Well, it happens to be a very challenging song to sing, so I think that's a lot of the reason why it's not in this set, number one. Now, he talked a little bit about Eddie here. He says, I loved Eddie Van Halen as much as anybody loved him on this planet. He had a dark side. We all know he got sick. If I could have seen the future and he was going to pass early like this and have such a sad thing, I would have definitely left the dark side out of it, meaning his book. I just really would have. I would have swept the dark side out. The problem was I was really hurt when I got thrown out of that band, and the way he was acting, he was just really impossible to deal with. I was hurt, and I wrote that book really quick. I started writing the book the freaking first week I was thrown out of the band, and I was angry. So there's anger in there. And I've been asked many times to do the audio for the book, and I would love to do it, except I don't think I could do those parts. I don't have that anger anymore, and it may stir something up. So I won't do an audio of my own book because of that, because of the Van Halen stuff. But it's so sad what happened to Eddie. I don't feel horrible about what I wrote. I wrote the truth, but I would have left the dark side and put a little polish in there. Jesus, Dave, what do you think of that?
He continues the apology tour.
It's never ending.
And he is using Van Hagar a lot because he can, because it's not trademarked like Van Halen. There won't be any confusion or anything like that. So he is really latching on to that more than ever. And who can blame him, because it's an easily recognizable name. So he might as well go for it. I mean, nobody else is playing Van Halen, whether it's Van Halen with Dave, Van Halen with Sammy.
That's right.
Van Hagar, whatever you want to call it. Nobody's playing. Dave's not touring anymore.
Nope.
So who's left?
Well, that's my
I'll
point.
give Sam full credit. Go for it. Wave the flag. I mean, you might as well do it because, Sam's the oldest out of all of them. He already knows his voice isn't what it used to be.
Oh,
now, he's still decent. He can still sing.
Oh, yeah.
But dude is not going to be singing like the studio version of Dreams. He did back himself into a corner that way.
No, well, I think, I got to be honest with you, it's basically out of the set. And I think When It's Love is out of the set at this point, too. I mean, I think he has to kind of stick to the rockers.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
I agree. I agree.
I don't see him even doing Eagles Fly a lot. And he loves doing Eagles Fly, but there's some high fucking notes in that song.
Well, the thing we always said about Dave is Dave, stay in your safety zone and you'll be fine. I think Sam is doing that and he'll be fine. Is he going to leave some songs out? Sure. But what do you want? The guy is 70, what is he now? 74?
I think he's turning 74 on the next birthday.
Okay, I think you're right.
Yeah.
So, we get what we get in the set, and we don't get upset.
Yeah. And then he talks about his talks with Eddie. He said that Eddie said to him, hey, let's make some noise. And he says, I got a lot of work to do on myself this year. You ain't going to believe it. I've been fighting this stuff for 15 years. And now I got this big thing on my neck and my throat now. I've got to get it all straightened out, and next year you and I have to make some noise. We made some great music together, and I want to do it again. That was kind of a sad moment. We didn't hear that part of the conversation, so that's why I wanted to bring that to your attention. Another part of this interview, he talked more about Eddie. He said he had elevated this whole thing, and he had come to peace with everything because he knew he was sick. It's perspective. He had a newer perspective. He was totally above it all and elevated. He was talking to me like Wolfie's dad. And man, I was glad that happened at that time, because if it hadn't happened and he passed away, I would feel terrible. I wouldn't be able to talk about it. I wouldn't know what to say. But I'm so grateful that we connected, which makes me feel even worse for Mike, because Mike never had that closure.
I wholeheartedly agree.
Yeah, and that's just, I mean, when Mike hears that, he's got to feel like absolute shit. But what's also amazing about Mike is, I mean, Mike was with them so long, and Mike just really just never know what happened. I mean, Mike is like the sweetest guy, and he just got clobbered financially, every which way. It's almost like he just got a beating one day, and he just never knows why he got that beating. You know, he was like a reliable, smiling, agreeable soldier who just got, like, nailed. It was just weird.
I don't think he dwells on that.
No, he doesn't. I mean, look, he's a happy guy, and I think he's sort of written it off. But let me tell you something. Looking back, he was smart to move over to Sam. That was the best move he made when he started, you know what, let me stick with Sam, and I'm having more of a good time with Sam. I mean, you got to be kidding me. Think about all the years that he's enjoyed with Sam, and the parties and the way Sam treats him like gold. It's so cool. Here's another revealing part of this interview. This is so strange. They talk in the interview about Sam being a replacement for Steven Tyler in Aerosmith. This gets crazy. I guess this is like early 2010 or something like that, somewhere around there. I guess it was when Aerosmith was having an issue or something like that. He said management people were talking to me about replacing Steven Tyler one time when he went off the deep end. They started saying, hey man, you replaced one guy, you want to do it again? And he's like, no. But he said, I mean, even Bob Weir and the guys in the Grateful Dead, back when we were first becoming the Dead without Jerry Garcia, they started talking to me about maybe playing guitar and singing. I would kind of replace Jerry. So I was so tempted to do that because Bob's my dear friend. I'm going, oh man, I just don't want to get caught up in that bag. But now I look back at my life and I go, man, it would have been cool to do the Dead for a couple of years and Aerosmith for at least one tour, maybe Queen. Now he's talking about Queen. So I was just like, holy shit. I guess Sam was going to be like the go-to replacement guy for everybody. That was kind of weird. Joe Perry was asked about it, and he said Steven wanted to take 4 years off and do what he wants to do. So the whole time I was looking around for another lead singer as soon as that happened, and that raised its head. He said they were considering like Chris Cornell, Billy Idol, Lenny Kravitz, Paul Rogers, and Sammy. And he said, I'm not sure how it got there, but Sam I know as a really mellow guy who's easy to get along with, and he definitely has the pipe, so I can see why that idea has been floated. Sam said that management wanted him to go to South Africa and try it out, and he said the problem is I would have taken the toxicity out of the whole thing. It probably would have bombed because I'm not a toxic kind of guy. When the arguments start, I'm out of there. I can't be in a bad situation like that. So what do you think of Sammy in Aerosmith or even the Dead? What do you make of that?
He would have been the jump the shark guy.
You think so?
Well, the band, well, sure, because now he's going to be the guy who always replaces somebody after the fact, like just a tour, right? You know, you were already the new David Lee Roth. Now you're going to be the new Steven Tyler.
Yeah.
Now you're going to be the new Jerry Garcia.
That's crazy.
And he's mentioning Queen like he ever had a shot. You're going to be the new Freddie Mercury. That was going to be your new career move. You were going to be the new replacement whenever a band wanted to go on tour but didn't have their lead singer for whatever reason. Well, I don't know if it would have killed his credibility, but it certainly wouldn't have helped it much.
No, I think it really will look cheesy as hell. I mean, you know,
if he was doing it all the time, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's one. I mean, don't get me wrong. The